குக்கரி சேனலை பார்த்து யார் வேணாலும் சமையல் பண்ணலாம். ஆனா சுவையான சமையல் பண்றது எப்படி? நான் இதயம் நல்லெண்ணெயில சமையல் பண்றேன். ஆஹா ஓஹோன்னு பாராட்டுறாங்க. நீங்களும் இதயம் நல்லெண்ணெயில சமையல் பண்ணுங்க, பாராட்ட வாங்குங்க.
தினம் தோறும் வாங்குவே இதயம் இதயம்.
அனைவருக்கும் என்னுடைய அன்பான காலை வணக்கம் to all the wonderful students who have assembled here from some of the finest schools in Coimbatore. 22 school children, close to about 500 young minds have come here, trying to understand how we can be a global citizen, how we can solve global problems. I take this opportunity to thank Yuvabharathi Public School for creating this platform. Not many school thinks of this line, trying to create students to solve global problems, trying to create students for the future. I take this opportunity to compliment the Yuvabharathi Public School and especially the Model United Nations, Yuvabharathi Model United Nations, which is into its 5th year, which is also not a normal thing we see in schools. Putting together an event of this magnitude requires a vision. And for that, I compliment the correspondent of the school, Mr. Sanjeev Anand, the member of management, Mrs. Nigarika Sanjeev, and the wonderful principal who have the opportunity to listen when she spoke, Madam Geeta Jayachandran. To all the wonderful dedicated chairs who are here, dedicated vice chairs who are here, and all the delegates of the Model United Nations. So my good morning to you all. United Nations, we all know, it's a forum where we discuss all the complex issues. What started in 1945 with 51 countries have evolved into a global organization with 193 member states now, and 2 countries having observer status, meaning 195 countries are there. It is such a complex forum where you see democracies represented, where you see dictatorships represented, where you see monarchs represented, where you see authoritarian countries represented. All kinds of countries on the planet are represented, and each country holding a single vote. That is where the complex of United Nations starts. The complexity starts because most of us, all the countries are very, very dissimilar. Some countries are in the so-called global north, some countries are in the so-called global south. Some countries are developed, some countries are developing, some countries are least developed. And the way democratic process are percolated into each of those countries are very, very different. So naturally, the negotiating positions are also different. So it is such a complex forum. That is why the students are getting trained, because no every single problem has got a solution in a minute. Some problem, it takes debates, hours and hours. Some days takes days and days. Some takes months and months. Some takes years and years. And that is why we have complex problem, which affects the humanity as a whole. Those problems don't see whether we are from India, we are from Tamil Nadu. It sees the humanity as a whole. It affects all of us together. That is why it is important for us to transcend what is holding us together. Many a times a language holds us together. Many a times we born in a particular area hold us together. Many times our country identity hold us together. The whole idea of this Model United Nations is to train you to think big, train you to transcend the small things that hold you, to think like a global citizen. It trains you to put yourself in the shoes of other person, so that we understand the perspectives they are coming from. A least developed country called LDC will think very differently because they are not developed at all. And they might have an element of self-preservation. A country like United Nations with $32 trillion, the largest economy in the world, which might think very different. Some countries might think with global interest in mind. Some countries might only think with national interest in mind. So the more we engage, the more we think about complex issues, the more we try to push ourselves out of our self-imposed identities, then possibly we'll be able to see the other country's mind also, where the other country is coming from. Then we'll be in a position to solve the global problem. Trade is such a barrier, even with United Nations, even with some of the organizations connected to UN, like the Global World Trade Organization. Even after this many years, there is no solution to trade. Trade barriers are still there. Technology transfer is still a problem. Great countries have technology. Developing countries don't have technology. It is still a problem. Even after 50, 60 years of negotiation, we haven't achieved anything much. Even now, in this era of 21st century, where the concept of aid, where the developed countries giving aid to the least developing countries, even aid is also a problem. United Nations come to a conclusion on that. Even global wars, as we speak now, there is a war between Russia and Ukraine. Iran and Israel war has come down. Gaza, Hamas, Palestine, Israel has come down. As we speak now, the world has also got a lot of global spots. As we speak, there are many wars which has crossed a year, which has crossed 2 years. Even now, we haven't found a solution. So the delegates here have to understand not every problem has got a solution which everybody will accept. Some solution, it needs maneuverability, it needs careful building up of arguments, it needs patience, it needs tolerance. I'm very sure 23rd and 24th of August, these 2 days, when you finish this wonderful model United Nations, when you go out, there are some attributes and qualities which will get built into you. You will get the attribute of patience, tolerance, the ability to listen very deeply, the ability to make convincing arguments, the ability to see the others, make the other side to see your perspective, and ability for you to see the other side's perspective. And these small qualities which you build as a student in this model United Nations Forum, it will help you in multiple things. You can do whatever you want in your life. You can be a teacher, you can be an entrepreneur, you can be a student for some more time. So these qualities are very important for you to lead a better life. The topic that is given that I've taken to speak to you today is ethical leadership in the era of artificial intelligence. I'm sure the students nowadays, you know many things. You Google, you understand, you're good with technology, but still I'll take about 2-3 minutes to explain the elementary basics of artificial intelligence so that I can connect it to ethical leadership. This is such a complex topic. The United Nations is going to grapple with it in the near future. Maybe not now, maybe not the UN is fully active into artificial intelligence regulation, thinking deeply about it. It is only a matter of time before it becomes a global issue. It might become a global crisis also, where everybody will talk about AI. So we have a human level cognitive ability. We humans think, we process, we think very complex issues. We try to come to a solution, which we call the human level intelligence. And all of us are blessed with a certain intelligence. We have a measure of IQ. We can say whether we have 130, 140, 150, 160, we can measure it. Then there is computer level intelligence, where you assemble a bulk of computers, you give it a processing power, you train the computers to think in a certain way, different languages, which we call LLM, large language models, so that with powerful chips, the computer becomes like a thinking machine. It keeps thinking, thinking, and thinking. So artificial intelligence is in 2 parts. The first part is right now what we are talking AI, which is very simple in nature, which is not very complex. Even you Google, it will look at 100, 200 different sources. It will compile everything. It will give you a solution, which we call the AI mode, the normal AI. But very soon, we are going to cross an inflection point where the artificial intelligence or the computer thinking is going to overshoot the human level thinking. So that particular inflection point is called the singularity, or the artificial generative intelligence, AGI. So all of us are discussing this particular point. Experts say it might come at 2030, some say 2040, some say 2050. Based on the processing power and how fast the computer chips are coming in, very soon this machine thinking will try to overtake the human level thinking. So which 1950, the great mathematician and the eminent thinker at that point of time, and in fact, his code-breaking mission helped us to end the World War. He belonged to Britain. His name is Alan Turing. In 1950, he wrote a very forward-looking paper called the Turing Test. Turing Test he wrote in 1950. He said, there comes a time when the humans and computers, if they sit opposite to each other, if there is a blank screen between them, if the human while interacting with computer is not able to really understand whether at the opposite end it's a computer or human, then that is the time we have passed the Turing test. When a human is interacting with a computer, there is a blind screen between both of us. During the interaction process, the human is confused whether the opposite side is a human or a computer. Then we have crossed the Turing test, meaning that is the time the singularity or the inflection point or AGI has started. So now your generation of kids, before you quickly get into college, you start doing your degree. I have a feeling we might pass AGI. I have a feeling we might pass the inflection test. I have a feeling we might get into that mode where the computers will start doing very complex things. This is where leadership comes in. Right now, everything is regulated, whether you like it or not. The way you come to the school van is regulated. What speed the van can go, who's the driver, how many attendants can be a part of a school. It's regulated. You come here. Traffic signal you come is regulated. There are 3 signals where your school van has to wait. You come, even if your parents have dropped you by car, even if you come by a public transport, regulator. The school is also a regulator. Everything is regulator. Now we live in a regulated world, but we are okay with some sort of regulation. We are not okay with too much regulation because we live in a democracy. We are okay with some sort of regulation where all of us benefit more by that regulation. Regulation should benefit everybody. When it benefits, we are okay with it. Sometimes when you look at an authoritarian country or a dictatorship country, when there's too much regulation, you can't even speak, you can't even walk, you can't even assemble, we have a problem. We say, okay, how can you regulate me so much? Now the question for us before this August gathering in the model United Nations, when you think very deeply is, should AI be regulated? Number one, should global countries pass a law to decide the speed and growth of AI in the near future? Should we have a country-specific law? Should we have a global law? Right now, as we speak, the European Union has got an AI Act. Possibly that's a major artificial intelligence act that has come in because the act talks about ethical leadership. It came in August 1, 2024. It classified AI into 4 parts. First is called the prohibited AI, which I will explain when I go into it further. And he said nobody can get into prohibited AI. It is banned by law because it is unethical. High risk AI. Some AIs are very high risk in nature, which might cross the ethical line. So we are prohibiting it partly. The next is limited risk AI. They said no problem, no regulation. It is not skirting the ethical line. You are free to go ahead. The next is low or minimal risk AI. So the act itself has classified AI into 4 parts. And the first 2 AI, meaning the prohibited AI and high risk AI, are flirting with the ethical leadership, ethical process. So they're banned it, remaining 2, they're open. US wanted to put a ban. California, where the state of San Francisco, where it is California state, it has got the world's 32 of the top 50 AI companies in the world. Top 50 AI companies, 32 companies are located in a single state in US headquarters. And the local, like our Tamil Nadu Assembly, like our local assembly, the California State Assembly passed a law to regulate AI. The governor did not agree. The governor said, I am not agree. I am not going to sign that law. Now there are 2 arguments we are seeing. When you're sitting in the United Nations, there are 2 arguments. One argument, like European Union, they say we are bringing a law to regulate AI because it is skirting ethics. Americans, the state of California, said, no, we are not going to bring a law because they say bringing a law will kill the human spirit. Anybody bringing a regulation will not allow innovation to happen. So that is an important topic for this August gathering to decide. Law, if you bring a regulation, will it kill a spirit? Because other proponents of AI say, because you're in United Nations, you have to look at 2 sides of a coin. And there's not a single argument that is valid. The other sides of the proponent, they say AI is important. It is solving a complex global problem. The weather pattern, it is predicting accurately. After, in the last 3-4 years, artificial intelligence, it is able to pinpoint and say the weather disturbance that is going to happen. Possibly in our lifetime, maybe much sooner also, artificial intelligence is going to give a cure for cancer. Because so much machine power, so much processing power, it is processing gigabytes of data. It is going to give us a solution to cancer. Human genome is mad, but AI has taken it one step further. Maybe in next 10-15 years, we will know each person uniquely the disease they might get and the possible medical cure that AI should propose. Right now, AI is also doing remarkable progress in some of the human tests, some of the medical tests it is doing. It is also doing remarkable process in creating molecular solutions to complex. That is why last year, when the Nobel Prize awarded the chemistry prize, it was co-shared with an AI company. So normally we see the Nobel Prize scientists get it. But last year we saw the Nobel Prize co-shared with an AI company because the AI company developed a technique based on the professor's argument of science. So both combined together to create a complex problem. So we have 2 sides. One side is very clear. Don't regulate. It's too early to regulate. No ethics is blurred now. Everything is fine. Please allow it to go for another 10-15 years so that we will not kill the human spirit. We will not kill the innovation. We will find solutions to complex problems. The other side, no. It's already too much. We are already going towards artificial generative intelligence. The chips are becoming so powerful. We might cross the Turing test. The chat GPT-1, GPT-2, GPT-3, GPT-4, GPT 4.5, GPT-5, Gemini. If you look at all those companies, it is quadrupling the computational power. Every 1 year, the computational power is increasing 4 times, which is phenomenal. which is getting into a new zone which we don't understand. So we are saying, no, please regulate, please don't fast. Now, again, for you to make an informed decision, I can present some more complex arguments before you. Now, look at employment. Now, India is a very complex country. We are 140 crores. So you are representing India and United Nations, let us imagine. So you will say, look, I represent the country with the largest global force in the world, which is 140 crores. There are many countries, developed countries, which doesn't have enough population. Many European countries, they want immigrants to come and work. So they will say, no, we have lesser population. We are okay with technology. So the Indian delegate, some of you, if you represent UN in the future, which I want you to represent, becoming a part of the Indian Foreign Service and becoming a diplomat and sitting in UN and arguing. So you will say, look, AI might kill jobs because ethically we are bound to make sure people should not lose jobs. We don't want a jobless growth, computers taking over, computers solving problem. Right now, people say the next 10 years, the software engineering coders will be abolished. No need for coders. Right now, many people, for example, if you take Tata Consultancy Services, the largest IT company in India, in the world, which employs about 6,12,000 people. 6,12,000 people is the current employment in TCS. Close to about 3.54 lakh are coders, entry-level coders, mid-level coders, high-level coders. People say when artificial intelligence comes, there's no need for coders. Then we have to understand such a complex country like ours with millions of young people like you. So where will we find new jobs in the future if you allow AI in everywhere? If you allow AI into employment, if you allow AI everywhere, then probably our argument in United Nations would be no. We want AI for certain sectors. We want AI for medical, we want AI for transport solutions, we want AI for this. But the moment you allow AI to solve my daily needs, you bring an AI robot into my house, there is no need for a maid. Now, very soon, AI you can map, or already I've seen a demo in Europe in my recent trip, where AI can come, AI-enabled robot can come, you can feed the menu into it, it is cooking beautiful dishes for you. Of course, right now it is not in a position to make complex dosas, or a paniyaram like how we make in Coimbatore, but it can make pasta for you. It can make fried rice for you. It mixes all the ingredients, it cooks, it packs, it delivers to you. So straight away the elimination of maids is gone. Straight away the elimination. Now AI with computer control, watchman security system, even that will go. The food delivery boys will go. So I'm just presenting you an argument to say, coders to maids to other complex things, artificial intelligence. Should I speak, sir? Can I speak?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the artificial intelligence in the near future in a country like India, the biggest problem we are foreseeing is it might kill employment. We might have a jobless growth. So it is important countries like India, we got to be really sure to make sure I don't want my jobs to get killed. A country like Norway or Sweden, which is sitting in United Nations, might say, no, I want AI. I really don't have people to work. My population is declining. A country like Japan, where there is a negative population growth rate, Japan might say, no, I want AI in all sectors. Because for me, the problem is I don't have enough hands to work. So this is your first ethical leadership problem. To take care of your country, of course, it's national interest. Of course, it's self-interest. Because each country is unique. Each country's growth path is unique. And each country has to look at problem in its own way. The second argument I can give to you is the way the technology transfer happens. Just look at US, just look at China. If you look at some of the top AI companies in the world, like OpenAI, Anthropic, Google DeepMind, or the Chinese company that is making a lot of noise now, the DeepSeek R1, if you look at all those companies, it is predominantly, it looks like a two-way race between US and China because they hold the technology. Now, what about developing countries like us? A lot about middle-income countries like this. What about African countries? What about Ghana? What about Cameroon? What about Costa Rica? So those countries don't have technology. In the last 200 years, if you look at the world, the way it has grown, countries which had technology, they grew. Countries which did not have technology, we did not grow. Now maybe if you're representing Cameroon or Ghana in the United Nations, your argument should be, look, if you think AI is global, please do technology transfer to us also. Why do you want companies to be in a certain countries? You develop all the product, you use that product to improve your economy, but my country will keep going down. So a least income countries argument in United Nations should be ethical leadership wise. You develop technology, you keep it. The technology doesn't even come down. Right now, we know the technology from a rich country to come to a poor country, it is taking generations. If you look at medicines, encyclopedic medicine, what you call the yanai kal in Tamil, we call the elephant leg medicine. It took 60 years to come from US to some of the African countries. Measles, it took 40 years. Some of the most important medicine that is needed for a least developing country, the developed countries held that medicine as a strategic resort. They said, we will give it only when you become friendly to us. So we should not want AI to become something like that. But right now, the way AI is going, artificial general intelligence, somebody was making the statement. It can run computers, it can run simulations, it can take over different systems, it can operate different systems. If you look at the American president, there is one guy who always comes along with the American president carrying a suitcase. If you look at the TV, you will see that's called the football, because the nuclear codes is right there in the suitcase. The guy who's always with the American president, he carries that suitcase where the football code is there. Football code is there where the nuclear codes the president can launch. Now AI can take control of that. So AI can decide, oh, Russia is launching a missile, somebody is launching a missile. It will calculate, it will launch it. Now it is going to percolate into all parts where it will take control. Now we don't want to have a scenario where countries which don't have technology, they become lagging, because we want an equitable world. At least in your generation, before 2060, 70 ends. We want to see an equitable world where there's something called least developing country. Even they should be developed. As we speak now, simply because somebody is in a least developing country, millions of children are dying. Millions of children in Africa are dying. So we don't want that to happen in our lifetime. So this is your second point of argument, ethical leadership wise. Can the technology transfer happen in an equitable way so that all of us say together? So this is very important. The third one I would say from an ethical leadership point of view with respect to the artificial intelligence is how much is too much? How much is too much? Now, yes, we all like idlis, we all like dosa. I'm sure whatever you say breakfast is, but how much is too much? You might, at a certain point of time, you have to say no. When age comes, you have to say no to sugar. I'll take one sweet, but not more. I'll take one ice cream, but not more. Now, AI is also like that, where we have to think when will we say how much is too much? And is the time to say it now? Is it time to say 10 years from now? So that is the ethical leadership you will always grapple. Because the problem with ethical leadership is what might appear ethical to you might not appear ethical to others. Of course, there are human values. Of course, there are certain human norms which transcend boundary. But ethically, as a developing country, I might think something. But as a developed country, they might think something. So this ethical leadership, it comes for you with continuous engagement, continuous patience, continuous negotiation, continuous deep thinking. It should make you a person with empathy. It should make you a person, not a very cold-hearted diplomat. Oh, I will operate. I will give you one. You give me one. That's a very cold-hearted diplomatic way of operating. But for a better world, I would really expect all the delegates here to have empathy at the core of your being. Empathy is very, very important. Even you are an Indian, you're a Tamilian, you are an Indian, no doubt. But you are also a global citizen. You cannot take too much from the pie. We should help the pie to grow. Can we make the pie to grow instead of grabbing everything to us so that other countries don't get anything? So that is a very complex process of a negotiation. Yes, you can be a great diplomat for India. I made India win. But is somebody losing? And somebody is losing in the moral equivalent to say, if it affects their livelihood, daily existence, food, then probably we are living in the same earth, sharing the same resources. What goes around will come around. What is affecting one country will come to us. The corona which started in China, matter of months, it spread to all of us. The corona did not care it is in China, there is a boundary. So in the future, I'm sure all of you will see complex human problem that will start in one country, very quickly come to other countries also. So the third one for ethical leadership in my mind is how much is too much? Where do you want to put a stop? Do you want to build a big dam to say I don't want? Or you want to build a small gate to say I will only allow this? That is for you. That is for the delegates to decide. Will I put a dam to stop everything, or will I put a gate to open, close, to allow something, not allow something? So this is a call you all have to take. So artificial intelligence is coming. It is coming in a big way. And ethical leadership is always important, not for AI. It is always important for anything. And we need leadership which puts country first, no doubt about that. we also need ethical leadership, which will think about the world. That is why if you look at our Honorable Prime Minister, even before we have given COVID vaccine to all our Indian population, we have started giving COVID vaccine to least developed country, LDCs. Because what is happening? The Americans were cornering all vaccines. GlaxoSmithKline, Pfizer, all the top companies. US said, look, you are in US, you are a US company. So 1/3 you will sell it to me. 1/3 you'll keep it in reserve. Only 1/3 you can sell outside. All European countries were behaving like that. They are some of the top countries in the world, rich countries in the world. But when we were manufacturing our own COVID vaccines in Hyderabad and Pune, so we took a call as our Indian culture, the least developed country, who will take care? If everybody talks about vaccine for them, so we ourselves, we are 140 crore. We have to give double shot. That is why we took a vaccine Maitri. Even before India, we achieved vaccine for all our population. We have given vaccine to close to 100 countries. 100 countries we gave vaccine. That is why when the Honorable Prime Minister recently visited a country in the Asian side, the president of the country tried to touch our Prime Minister's feet. When Prime Minister stopped him from touching our feet, the president later said, look, I have done this because when no countries gave us vaccine, India gave us vaccine. For every vaccine we gave, we put a box, we said, this is a gift to you from the people of Bharat, people of India to you, because we care for you. That is, in every box, we put a line, we put our emblem, we send it. So this is also ethical leadership in this global world where everybody wanted to take care of themselves. We went over and board to say, look, we are giving it to you because we want you to be also well, because we felt what is happening there will cross into our border in minutes without even waiting for it. So I'm sure with that spirit, with that inquisitiveness, with that kind-heartedness, with the spirit of empathy, you will approach a problem. You will think deep. Of course, national interest is important, but also you will look at global interest. You will try and find a solution in which all of us are happy. The world is a peaceful place. So thank you so much. I've taken a lot of time to give you an overview of where we are, United Nations and AI and ethical leadership. I'm sure this delegation would be a great success. And today and tomorrow, you will have wonderful discussion. Please take active part. And nowhere you will get a forum like this because you're getting schools, children from 22 schools. Each will have a different culture. Each school has got a culture. And all these 22 children might have to come with a different background, different mindset. So please negotiate with the spirit of cooperation. Let good things happen. Thank you very much and for the opportunity. Enjoy talking to you all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for your valuable time and disseminating words of wisdom. Would you be interested in taking one or two questions from our students?
Yeah, madam. Please go ahead.
Sir, I have a student from Sachidanand Jyoti Niketan School. Introduce yourself and please place your question.
First of all, good morning, sir. I am Rishan Narsiman. I'm a grade 12 student studying in Sachidanand Jyoti Niketan. And sir, my question to you is, in today's India, youth leaders or young leaders, it is said that anybody who wants to lead must have power, must have influence, and must have money. What is your message to those youth who have the leadership potential but are unable to go out because of certain circumstances?
A great question, Rishabh Narasimhan. Thank you. Please have a seat. I will answer it. It is very pertinent, I think. 1893, there was a guy in South Africa. His name is Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, 1893. I'm not talking of 1947, 1893. So he was going in a train, and there was a station called Pietermaritzburg. And the train stopped there, and the ticket checker told him, hey, man, you're brown. And how come you're traveling in a first-class compartment? He said, no, I got a first-class ticket. I'm traveling here. And the ticket collector said, get out. He said, I will not get out. The ticket collector said, okay, take this fellow's luggage and throw him out. So 1893, they threw him out. Pietermaritzburg is like a Ooty, like a small Ooty. It's cold. It's likely a hill station. So this guy was sitting outside the railway station, cold night. He had two options in front of him. He had two options. One, to accept injustice and move on, become a better lawyer, because he went from Gujarat to London to study law, and then a wealthy Gujarati merchant called him to South Africa to make money. So this Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, he went because he's yet to become Gandhiji, yet to become Mahatma. I'm coming to the other part. He went there to make money. That 1893, that night in Pietermaritzburg, something clicked in his mind. He's like, this is injustice. And somebody has to question. Somebody has to stand up. You cannot do this to me. You cannot do this to people. We all trust the system. We all trust the fairness of the system. So the Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi of 1893, that day night, next day morning, he became Mahatma Gandhi. So it's a shift in the night. He said, I am going to fight this injustice in a moral way, in a democratic way, in a ahimsa way. The rest is history. So why I'm giving this example is, Gandhiji never held a position in his life except 1 year in 1923, where he was the president of the Indian National Congress. 1 year in the Belgaum session. All through his life, Gandhiji did not hold a position. 1940, the most powerful man on the planet Earth. 1945, the most powerful man on the planet Earth. He never held a position. So I would say it has to come from a moral character. You should feel deeply about an issue. And it should come from your moral conscience, moral character. So the moral conscience should lead you, not your title, your prestige, your chair, your position. Nowadays, we have very little leaders like that. People who lead from morality, people who have their moral conscience that take them up. So the youth of this country, especially the youth sitting in this August hall, develop a very strong moral fiber, sense of right and wrong, fight for it, stand for it. And when you do it, people will start coming around. Mahatma Gandhiji, 1917, when he came to India. So what did he say? Look, okay, I'm a great man from South Africa. I've done this many great things in South Africa. Lakhs of people went to Mumbai to welcome him. But after that, Gandhiji said, look, next 5 years, I'm on a study tour. I will travel in a third-class train, third-class compartment. I will travel across the country, see people's plight. In our Madurai, Tamil Nadu, when he came here, this is where he saw some of our farmer friends wearing vesti and not the upper shirt also. In Madurai, he decided, I'm not going to wear a full dress. I'm only going to wear a half dress. So Gandhiji, in 5 years, even after a great person in South Africa, he came, he learned. This is second quality for a youth. You mentioned about leading. And leading is always about learning. Learning and leading both will come together. They're both sides of a coin. Leading cannot happen without learning. You should be a lifelong learner. Gandhiji did it. Then people started following. And they said, who's this guy? He's talking like me, behaving like me, living my own life. Then hundreds, thousands, 10,000, lakh. Then India danced to Gandhi's tune. He said non-cooperation movement. All of us launched. He said no non-cooperation movement. Pull back. Because you all went and burned a police station. You killed innocent policemen in Chauri Chaura in UP. So non-cooperation movement, I'm calling back. All of you come back. We all came back. Gandhi said, do this movement. We all went. Gandhi said, don't do this. We all came back. So 20 years, Mahatma Gandhi trained us. Gandhiji trained us. So you see, a person without power, a person without a title, a person without a chair, Mahatma Gandhiji should be a greatest living inspiration for you to lead with purpose, to lead with moral compass, always be a lifelong learner. Take it and live it. Don't allow others to follow you. People will follow you. There is this very beautiful quote which I live by. Please don't follow me. I'm not a great person. I will not follow you because you are not a great person to me. Walk along with me. Both of us will go together to solve the problem. I think that's spirit. Just walk. People will come. Treat people as equal. And everything will come after that. So I'm sure you will think very deeply about it because it is a very deep question. And I'm sure the next 20, 30 years, your life, you will find your own ways of leading. You will find your own ways of empathy. But with a sense of moral compass, you will do it. Thank you, Rishabh Narasimhan, for the question. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. One more question from a student from... Introduce yourself.
Good morning, sir. My name is Sri Lakshmi. I am a grade 12 student of People Prodigy. My question is, what advice would you offer to young officers and aspirants of the civil service who will enter the office today in the 21st century, where anything you say or do will have a huge impact on the world around you?
Thank you, Sri Lakshmi. Ji, please have a seat. You have to understand, in India, it is civil servant. We call that a civil servant. There are two words. It's combined now. One is civil, one is servant. Civil servant, and which means to serve. Serving whom? Not the politician, not the CM, not the PM. Yes, they're very important in a democracy. It is serving the people. And civil servant, by the nature is expected to serve the people. So who are the masters? The people are the masters, not the politicians, not the political masters. There's two things I think it is important we should remember on day one. How many of you have heard about Lance Armstrong? Cyclist, can you just raise your hand? There was a great cycling champion, Tour de France, Lance Armstrong. Okay. So we have a great cycling champion. If you look at the cycle, in the cycle rim, he has written a word called never forget the beginner spirit. Because he say the beginning day you do something, that spirit you should always remember. Because after that, somehow we lose that beginner spirit. A civil servant has to always understand why did they enter into service. 21, 22, 23, 24. You're idealistic. You want to change the world. You should always remember that even at 40, even at 50. You should not say, nay, kuch nahi hoga. இது வந்து நடக்காது, இது வந்து மாறாது, இந்த உலகம் இப்படித்தான் இருக்கும். Nothing is going to change. நான் என்னைய மாத்திக்கிறேன். So a lot of people tend to change. That is a problem with our Indian civil service. The day you enter with a lot of hopes to say, I'm going to change it, I think this is my advice. One, always remember you are a civil servant. Always remember people are your masters. We have to serve them. Second, always remember there is a beginner spirit. We came with a certain purpose. Never forget that purpose. Always sail with that purpose. I think there's two things, because you will have ups and downs in life, because that is nature of life. You will be thrown in some far-flung posting and God-forsaken place. You will be there. You will be posted in a city like Coimbatore also, which is such beautiful with its culture and vibrancy. The civil servant has to see both. And you should not give up his thing when I'm posted in a far-flung thing, when I'm posted in a nice thing, because nice thing comes with comfort. A far-flung posting doesn't come with comfort. So parents should be ready. And if you're a girl child in our country, I personally believe women make better civil servants than men, because they have a lot of empathy. This is my personal belief after 9 years in service. I personally believe women make better police officers than men. But the circumstances and the work environment is something different. Your parents should be ready for Sri Lakshmi ji. Tomorrow, if you get a job in Assam as an Indian administrative service, tomorrow, if you get a job in Nagaland as an Indian administrative service, your parents should not cry. Oh, you're going too far to Assam, Nagaland. How will you come? Your parents should say, great. It is in Bharat. It is in India. You're serving our people. Please go. There is only one flight. You can always come back. So that's spirit. So parents should allow their girl children to fearlessly go and work across our country. Oh, you got into police service, it is too risky. Can you get into revenue service, which looks like a desk job? Or you get into administrative service? No, parents should be willingly allowing their children to do what they want, because India is very different now. So this is the advice for parents. Any parents who's here, and they all support us, I know. But still, if Sri Lakshmi, tomorrow you want to do something which might appear risky to the society, your parents should give you a full support, which I'm sure will happen. So never forget the beginner spirit, keep going, and very important, moral compass. Again, you are a civil servant where people are your masters. We should always remember that. Postings don't matter, up and down don't matter, great postings don't matter, cities don't matter. Only the service matters at the end of when we complete 60 years. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. One last question.
Yeah, madam.
Good morning, sir. This is Sai Nathan studying grade 10 in Yuvabharathi. As you know, we are witnessing an artificial intelligence revolution. So how do you think India can utilize artificial intelligence to boost itself on the global stage and to serve its people in the future? Thank you, sir.
Sai Nathan, thank you so much for your question, and good morning to you. You look very smartly dressed. And finally, I think Yuvabharathi has given a chance to one of their children. That is, I appreciate, because you have given chance to people from other schools. That only shows how large-hearted Yuvabharathi is. Sai Nathan, if you see, some of the greatest minds in AI are Indian engineers across the world. You must have heard about a company called Perplexity. Perplexity is by an Indian guy, Arvind Srinivas, which is a global AI company in the world now. So if you look at DeepSeek, some of the great companies, there are Indian engineers who are sitting in, Indian CEOs who are sitting in. So Indian talent is there, but only reason is opportunity. So but Indian talent is doing this in US. So that is the first challenge. For an Indian AI, which we are investing very heavily in chips, we are investing so much because we want Indian AI companies to gain foothold. The question is enabling environment. The first thing for us to kind of use AI to our advantages, we should have enabling environment for artificial intelligence companies, lightly regulated, thinly regulated, greatly regulated. Again, we spoke about it. hubs like Bangalore, Chennai, Coimbatore. This can be emerging places because you have to understand. If I use a chat GPT to say, how are you, Nitin? How is Nitin? If I use that, if I use Google, the chat GPT, it consumes 7 times more power than Google. So of course, you know it. So AI is energy intensive. It eats a lot of energy because of data centers. So our country, it should have a lot of abundant energy. That is also important. Chips. Right now, chips, companies like NVIDIA, some of the other companies, they control AI chips. We don't have AI chips. We are just manufacturing. The Prime Minister said in August 15, 2025, the end of this year, we will have Indian chips. Indian chips will come out, Indian AI chips will come out. So we have a problem with hardware. So software, we are fantastic. We have Indian mind, which is very good. Hardware, we have a problem. I'm sure in the next 2-3 years, we have to settle this, get it right. Policy environment, hardware chips, enabling environment, cities. So this is number one. Number two is, we have, among the global population, we have a lot of data sets. If you look at China, China is using China's data, Chinese language, Mandarin to train its LLM, because AI by its very nature is English in orientation. It's English in orientation. Because now what you Google, if you go and do a chat, a LLM chat, you get European answers. You get English answers because AI is not trained in Indian language. AI is not trained with Indian data set. This is our problem because AI right now, if I go to Google, so right now I'm in Google in front of you. I'm just trying to Google something. I'm going to AI mode in Gemini. So if I go to AI mode in Gemini, so I'm just showing you my cell phone here. Sorry, you might not see it. It's made ulta. So I'm in the AI mode Googling something. So it has taken 8 websites for me to compare. If you look at the 8 websites from which it is getting the data, almost all the 8 websites don't belong to our country. So the second problem in AI in ChatGPT, the data you get is trained by an European model or trained by an European language model. So second challenge is, we have multiple languages. We have Indian data. So we have to train it to Indian data. The second challenge. So we have to do it. The third challenge, in the near future, the way I see it is, India needs regulation. More than any other country, India needs regulation because we don't want AI to kill jobs. And at the same time, it should not kill innovation also. It's a very fine line. The lawmakers, the MPs and MLAs should really understand what AI is. Without even understanding, they cannot pass law. So I hope people like you will educate our MPs and MLAs to think about AI very deeply and then regulate it, but not too much. Control it, but not too much. Control it that benefits the Indian way. These 3 things I see as the immediate challenge. We have talent. We don't have hardware. We are building it. Next, the language models are trained in the European, not in Indian mind. We have to do with Indian data set. Third one is educating our member of parliament and MLA so that public representatives are aware and then they bring in light regulation to do it. Thank you. Thank you, Nitin.